With all the recent food scandals and the public's growing awareness of the dangers of consuming highly processed foods, you likely take responsibility for what you feed your children to ensure they stay healthy and well-nourished. But have you ever stopped to think about the one meal in your children's day that you're not responsible for? I'm talking about school lunches, the meals your children consume every day at school. Are they truly nutritious? Or worse, could they actually be toxic? With all the taxes we pay, you would think our children would at least be provided with a decent lunch. However, studies have found that many school lunches contain highly processed foods loaded with calories, sugar, and salt. Some may even include potentially harmful ingredients, such as cancer-causing pesticides, heavy metals that can affect brain development, and GMOs that aren't always listed on nutrition labels. In this video, we'll break down the top 5 reasons why school lunches may be toxic for your children. We're about to rock the boat with this one, so buckle up and get ready for a bumpy ride. All right, let's go. Number 1. Pesticides, and lots of them. This one is going to blow your mind, which is why it's first on the list. According to this article by ABC 7 News, which conducted a month-long study on school lunches to test how healthy they really are, or rather claim to be. They gathered samples of school lunches, such as fruits, potatoes, pizza, and breadsticks, from schools in Virginia, Washington, D.C., and Maryland, and sent them to the Health Research Institute in Iowa for testing. Their findings were, to say the least, shocking. Referring to this chart provided by ABC 7 News, the study discovered more than 50 different pesticides in these school lunches, with dozens of these pesticides identified in a single meal. 38 different pesticides were found in one elementary school lunch, with 23 other pesticides were found in just one cup of strawberries. One specific fungicide, carbendazim, was found in 5 out of 12 samples. This chemical has been banned in most European nations, as well as in Brazil and Argentina, due to its links to birth defects, infertility, and cancer. Number 2. Dangerous weed killers that have been linked to cancer. Just when you thought this couldn't get worse, it does. A chart from ABC 7 News further reveals that weed killers are silently lurking in your children's school lunches. Glyphosate, usually marketed as Roundup, was found in several samples, mostly in wheat products such as bread. This widely used weed killer is no stranger to controversy and has been the subject of multiple lawsuits due to its alleged links to cancer. Also detected in one sample was dicamba, another weed killer that has been connected to cancer. Lastly, 2.4-D, yet another herbicide suspected of increasing cancer risk, was found in 2 samples. So I guess you could say these school lunches were seasoned with a generous dose of cancer-causing weed killers. Not funny, I know, but sadly, that was the reality of the findings. Number 3, heavy metals. And no, I'm not talking about the music genre. What you're about to hear is not going to be music to your or your children's ears. Toxic heavy metals, such as lead and arsenic, were detected in the lunches served at the school cafeteria. These traces can be linked to pesticide usage, processing equipment, the soil the food was grown in, or even where the food was stored. Referring back to the article from ABC News, some of the toxic heavy metals detected were cadmium. Known to be carcinogenic, it was found in school lunch samples at levels 12 times higher than the FDA limit for bottled water. And arsenic detected in the rice used in school lunches at levels 6 times higher than what is allowed in apple juice. Lead, found in all of the samples. Lead has no safe level of exposure, meaning it is toxic at any amount. According to an article by the Pediatric Environmental Health Specialty Units written in April 2025, exposure to heavy metals can interfere with attention, learning, and behavior in young children, who are especially vulnerable because their brains are developing rapidly. Take a second to process this information, then come back for more with number 4 on this list. Number 4. GMO crops. ABC News wasn't the only outlet to report on questionable school lunches. According to a May 2024 article by the New York Post, a nonprofit organization called Moms Across America, whose mission is to provide a healthy future for children in the U.S.
So first of all, 95 95.3% of the school lunch samples, of the 43 school lunch samples, were positive for glyphosate and AMPA. And AMPA is the breakdown of glyphosate and is far more toxic than glyphosate. 95%. When you look at the testing done by the Detox Project recently, it was around 60% of the samples tested from the grocery store were positive for glyphosate. And in Canada, the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, when they tested, the samples were also about 60%. So these school lunches are far more toxic than what is being served to the general American public. Also, 100% of the wheat samples, any products that had wheat in them, like the burger buns or the tortillas, crackers, pretzels, all of that, 100% of those samples were positive for glyphosate.
Published findings from a study involving 43 school lunch samples collected by parents across 15 states. Among these samples, many contained GMOs, genetically modified organisms that have already been banned in over 60 countries. These GMO ingredients were found in foods containing corn, sugar, soy, beets, and canola or soybean oil. Genetically modified crops are engineered to withstand toxic chemical pesticides, like glyphosate, glufosinate, and dicamba. That's why so many traces of these pesticides were detected in school lunches, as we mentioned in points number 1 and number 2. We already covered toxic GMOs in this video on our channel, so be sure to check it out to learn more. Remember, knowledge is power. Ask yourself this: if other countries won't allow their children to eat GMO crops, why are American kids still being served them? Don't we care about the health of our own children?
Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said highly chemically processed foods are a culprit for many chronic diseases in the U.S.
Ultra-processed foods, the high in fats, starches, sugars, and additives, now make up 73% of the U.S. food supply.
Number 5, highly processed foods. Milk with high sugar content, sandwiches made with cold cuts like ham and turkey that may contain sodium nitrates, fruit juices that may contain high fructose corn syrup, burgers made with questionable meat, pizzas that are high in sodium, and snacks filled with additives. These are just a few examples of the ultra-processed foods served daily in school lunches. If the previous 4 issues we covered in this video weren't already bad or toxic enough for your children, a diet high in processed foods certainly doesn't help. Highly processed meals fail to provide developing youth with the nutrients they need to stay healthy. Consuming foods that are high in sodium and contain trans fats, which are common in processed items, can lead to numerous health problems, including obesity, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, and diabetes. What's even worse is the message we're sending our children. By serving them junk food with little to no nutritional value, we're silently teaching them that it's okay to eat this way. This mentality often carries into adulthood, contributing to the obesity epidemic we're seeing across the country. That's a whole other topic which we covered in a separate video, so make sure to watch it. It's packed with valuable information. I'm sure we really rocked the boat with this one. But like we always say, knowledge is power, and being informed is better than being ignorant. If you found value in this content, make sure to share it with other parents to help spread awareness. Support us by subscribing and hitting the bell icon so you're notified as soon as we upload something new. Don't forget to like and comment. Until then, stay informed. Genius Tomato out.